There we go. I don't know why I was all the way at the bottom like that. What do we got? 3 people? Who's here? Unknown trader. Hello, people. 5 people. Fucking PlayStation. Roy, what's going on? I appreciate it. Unknown trader didn't hit the like button. I don't know what to say. It's not okay. Today backfired spectacularly against the Republicans, you know, and I can't wait to talk about it. Trump's got a problem now. Hopefully we'll move quickly today and not have to wait forever for a crowd. But by the way it's looking, maybe not. I don't know. Hit the like button on your way in, please, guys. Jump into the chat whenever you'd like. I hope so, Alan Hinkle. I'm not 100% clear on whether or not the Democrats can force him to. Can they right now? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, they already are. James Comer was just trying to say, well, Bill Clinton basically said that he doesn't think that Trump was involved in anything, or Trump never gave him any reason to believe he was involved in anything, so he shouldn't have to testify, basically. Nope, fuck that. Oh, they can't make him do it right now? They did. They set the precedent, yeah. Wasn't a smart move, and look what they got. Nothing. They got nothing out of it, you know? And even the Republicans are like, yeah, Bill Clinton was very forthcoming and answered all the questions. Not now, yeah. I didn't think so. Well, next, yeah, when they win them, exactly, yep. Yep. Then he's fucked. That gives him even more reason to lie, cheat, and steal his way out of losing the midterms, you know? He absolutely should testify, especially being the sitting president. Hey, Angela, good to see you. I agree. He should. He's not going to volunteer to. They're going to have to force him. That's just it. That's why it's going to have to be after the midterms. Yeah. Once Democrats take power, then they'll force him. But they shouldn't have to. If he's so innocent, why not just sit down for a deposition? Why not? Hey, Miss Campione. Good to see you. You, unknown trader, what's up, brother? Yeah, they should. Yeah, if that's another reason they fucked up. And Bill Clinton said today, there's no reason to drag my wife into this. She never even met Epstein, you know? But now that they did, because Hillary Clinton isn't in those files, but Melania is. Melania certainly is. So I think she's fucked. They need to get that non-English speaking whore in there to testify. Let's see what she's got to say about her husband's alleged illegal activity. How great would it be if she's honest and she's like, listen, I wouldn't doubt it if he is a pedo, you know? No point he would lie anyway. Yeah, but it's high stakes now, you know? If he lies and he can be proven to have lied, then he can go to jail for that shit. Presidential immunity is not going to apply to perjury about the Epstein files, you know? We do, man. We do. See, Angela, you see what I'm saying? Even you're a Trump person, but you got to see. I mean, there's something very, very fishy going on here. Well, I mean, it's not something very, very fishy. It's as simple as Trump is a pedo, and he's doing everything in his power to keep the public from finding out about it. But this is going to hurt him. majorly in the midterms. There's no question about it. And the Republicans have to know that. The way they're turning on each other like the rats that they are, that could very well happen. FBS 100%. Oh, yeah. DOJ is PDF protectors. Yep, absolutely. Papa Trump loves you, dude. Oh, yeah? I don't love him. Should Bill Clinton go to jail then? Why? Why should they all go to jail? What if they didn't do anything wrong? And I was actually wrong. I thought Bill Clinton was actually accused of raping a child. He actually isn't. So I've been saying the wrong thing for a couple of weeks now. And if he tells the truth, he'd go to jail. No, you can't be convicted of perjury if you didn't lie. I read that one. Sabrina Merrick, $5. Hello, people. Just making a quick cameo appearance to show support. Have a great night, Chris and Chad. Have a great night. Thank you, Sabrina. You too. They just found a bunch of documents that are missing that tie Epstein and Trump into the same grape of a 13-year-old. Just say, oh, I know. And I've been talking about that shit for like a week, and the mainstream media just picked up on it like 2 days ago because people like Dean Withers and other independent journalists and stuff, they've been talking about it. I guess the mainstream media wanted to make sure, but now we know the FBI is hiding documents relating to Trump being accused of this shit. He's in the files, no doubt. Bill wanted a public and open deposition. Republicans wanted a closed-door private one. Of course. That's another thing. I mean, if that doesn't tell you guys there's something fishy going on there, why would they worry about it being public if they didn't want to lie about what Bill and Hillary said? If they didn't want to have the option of doing that or the capability. Oh, I don't listen. I'm as happy as could be, Steve. I got news for you, bro. The upset ones, the ones that are always pissed off, that's you. That's MAGA. You guys are mad about everything in the fucking world. You blame everything for your life sucking. Not me. I'm a happy guy. Yes, she was. No, I wasn't talking about her though. There's an accusation of Trump raping a girl in the files, and it says Bill Clinton was there. But why don't foreign governments with extradition treaties demand justice for their citizens and trials in their country? DOJ is a joke. I know it is. This DOJ. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's funny when these people are like, there's no way he's a pedo. Who buys Miss T in USA? Well, Tierson, who should I go after on the Democrat side? Tell me. Who's in the files accused of something that's a Democratic politician of some sort? Tell me who. No, they don't. Colton, you sick bastard. No, they don't. Please, they would have exposed him under Biden. Well, apparently not. Apparently not, because he's being exposed now. Oh, yeah. They've been deleting them. Yeah. Guys, the one day when they first released them, maybe that day or the next day, I went on there and I put Trump's name in the search thing on the Epstein library, they called it, on the DOJ website. And I got all these stories, including what was the one main one they got rid of the next day, I believe. I don't know. It was one of the more heinous accusations. I got the results for all that stuff. Like, you could see before you actually click on it, it tells you the gist of what it's all about. And it was this horrible accusation. And then the next day I tried again and it was gone. And I thought, that's got to be a glitch. How could that happen? And sure enough, I found out from other media sources and stuff that they started deleting all that shit from the files, everything. But now they deleted 4 FBI interviews with a victim that credibly accused Donald Trump of raping her when she was 13 years old. A victim who sued Jeffrey Epstein and won millions in 2020 from the Epstein estate. That means she's got proof, Just a shame what's going on here today is going to stop a lot of women from coming forward. Then when something happens to them. Well, this is why a lot of women don't come forward. This is why. It's a shame. They're not believed, you know. Oh, hands down, Brack Show, no doubt. Biggest scandal in American history. Because Republicans are cowards, corrupt pedos, or are weaponizing child rape for political gain. None of these are good options. No. Oh, yeah. Unknown traitor, yeah. You could see it. It's a part of their ideology. You know, they hate women, okay? So it pisses them off when a woman even accuses a man of that, even if they know he's guilty of it. I'll never forget that fucking judge, that right-wing judge. Can't remember what city or state this was in, but some white frat kid dragged an unconscious drunk girl behind a dumpster and raped her pretty brutally. And the judge did not want to try the case. He didn't want to punish this kid in any way, shape, or form, but the kid was found guilty, so he had no choice. So he gave him 6 months in jail, and the kid wound up serving like a few weeks or something, and he was let out because the judge made some comment, like basically, you know, like a lot of men say, it was her fault. It's her fault, you know. Oh, and what he said was he doesn't want to do harm to a young man with a good future ahead of him, something like that. So in other words, the kid could rape a girl brutally, fine, but we don't want to hurt that kid's future by convicting him or anything. Disgusting. Yeah, for real. Actually, everybody I know, life's pretty good. Democrats always deflecting. No, it's guys. I'll tell you what the simple answer to that is. When people are happy, they're not worried about what other people are doing. Okay, it's literally like what a liberal is. Somebody who says, "Go ahead, live your life. Let them do what they want. I'm happy." You know, I'm not worried about trans people. I'm not worried about gay people. I don't think about them. I got a good life. I got a beautiful wife. I got a nice home. I got everything I want in life. It's these guys the Republicans prey on, these ones that are, you know, miserable. They got no fucking money. Their wives left them. Their kids don't talk to them, shit like that. And it's always somebody else's fault. You know, it's never their fault. Trump gave those people a voice. He did. He gave them a boogeyman to blame. You know, blame immigrants, blame black people, blame people on welfare, blame everybody except for the billionaires all the way at the top that are really to blame, you know? Well, because this is not normal politics. Politics 20 years ago, I could understand you asking that. This is possibly the worst man ever to exist on planet fucking Earth versus good people, you know? Because they're stupid, Alan. They act like as if Biden was just chilling with the files in his desk or something. To even think that Biden saw the files, you have to be a fucking moron. What do you think? Biden was just flipping through them? Bill Clinton was in a blue dress and had been to the island 28 times. Wrong. There was a painting of Bill Clinton in a dress, not a picture. So there's no proof Bill Clinton was ever in a blue dress. And I'm sure that would have came out today. You think the Republicans weren't going to press him about stuff like that? And he was never to the island. He was on the plane 28 times. Donald Trump was on the plane 8 times, except when Bill Clinton was on the plane, he had already been president for 8 fucking years. So he had the Secret Service with him and his staff. And they were going on, these humanitarian things for the Clinton Foundation and stuff. They're going to Africa and Asia. There's Secret Service flight logs or records, from those flights. And they never went to the island. And also, there's no proof Trump went to the island yet, but I have a feeling there will be. You know what's funny as hell is Trump was voted in president in 2024. He was voted in with over 40 felony charges, yet the vast majority of Americans still wanted him over a Democrat. Well, it's not really funny, and it was 34, not felony charges, felony convictions. I explain this on every show because I know you guys don't know a lot of shit, but Donald Trump only won against women. Okay, the first woman, James Comey, helped him out, dropping a bombshell on her a couple of days before the election. Joe Biden whipped his ass by 7 million votes, and then Kamala had 107 days to run. 107 days to run, and if it wasn't for Elon buying Twitter and turning that into a fucking right-wing bullshit propaganda platform and doing everything in his power to get Trump elected, giving him $250 million. Everything you saw on TikTok and social media was just a bunch of fucking crybabies whining about groceries and gas costing them too much money, and a 24-hour right-wing news cycle that convinced the dumb people in this country that Joe Biden was responsible for all their problems. I mean, and Kamala, of course, too. That's why Trump won. Trump won because people are stupid. Okay, smart people don't vote for Republicans. That's literally a fact. Okay, so we live in a country where 54% of the population they read and write on a third grade level, and 23% of the population is functionally illiterate. So all you got to do is tell them stuff, such as yourself, Lucifer. I could sell you magic beans. And then when you find out they don't work, I could sell you more because you're gullible. You fall for this nonsense. So if they picked him over a Democrat, it's not because he's better than the Democrat. It's because they're stupid and they don't know enough, Democrats had the Epstein for 4 years. If there was anything in there against Trump, we'd have heard about it a long time ago. Again, that's you assuming Biden had them or the Democrats. I think what you mean to say is the Department of Justice had them and they were sealed because it was an open fucking case, you dummy. The FBI even said it. They were still getting information. There was open investigations. Donald Trump closed the case while Pam Bondi in July 2025. And that's when it became okay to release the files. Because John, I don't know if you know this, but Trump has been telling you for a long time that Bill Clinton and all these other people are guilty in the files. Well, Trump had the files before Joe Biden, right? So if that was true, why didn't Trump release them, considering he's the most petty, vindictive man in the fucking world? Yeah, Angela Jade, exactly, yeah. Yeah, he had sex with a fucking a woman who could consent, she was over the age of consent. Even without the Epstein files, the bloke's an idiot, and you Americans voted him back in. Don't blame us, man. Blame them, MAGA. Blame them. Blame the uneducated people. Blame them. The world is taking notice, and they're starting to take this very seriously because they cannot hide any longer. Trump and his enablers are going to push this to the limit. They are. We're not desperately trying to involve him. Boat Sailor, I know you probably don't know much because you're MAGA, but Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files. He's accused numerous times of raping children in the Epstein files, not to mention throughout his past. So we're not trying to involve him. He is the guy. You understand? The Epstein files are about him. The three people mentioned the most in the Epstein files are Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Donald Trump. More than anyone else. He's in there a million fucking times. Literally. So we're not trying to involve him. He's involved. He's the main pedo. And that's why they're running and ducking and hiding from this shit. Trump will not volunteer to testify. He will have to be forced to. And I have a feeling even then he won't do it. Yeah, Bill Clinton just testified. Yep. And the Republicans basically themselves said, we got nothing out of it. There was nothing. They didn't learn any new information today. Nothing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Until we find out he went to the island, Trump, I won't say that he's been there. I wouldn't doubt if he's been there. But yeah, the accusations against him in the files took place at his Los Ranchos Verdes golf course in California or whatever, in Mar-a-Lago, and in Jeffrey Epstein's New York and Palm Beach homes. So if people think if you didn't go to the island, you didn't do any pedo shit, that's not true. Epstein was graping these girls all over the fucking place. Matter of fact, if you watch the documentary on Netflix about it, a lot of it was at his Palm Beach home. This is where they would get these young girls, Ghislaine, from the other side of Palm Beach, the poor area, I guess, runaways and stuff like that. She would offer them money to go back to Epstein's house and give massages, and then they'd wind up, doing more than that. And then Ghislaine would tell them, hey, listen, if you want to make some more money, for every girl you bring me, I'll give you $200, whatever. And then I'll give them money too. And then they would tell the next girls, hey, for every girl you bring us, and it would go on and on and on and on. How is that a fact? Which part? I don't remember which part. If somebody has dementia, why would you throw that in their face? You can't control the fact you have dementia. He's still trying to do the best he can do to be a president. You talking about Trump now? Well, you guys threw up in Biden's face, right? Even though there's no proof he even had it, it's just your opinions. Why not? A guy with dementia shouldn't be president. And I was right on here saying that Joe Biden, even though neurologists said he didn't have any dementia, when they checked him out, any signs of dementia, I said he needs to drop the fuck out because he's a mess. After that debate, he was a mess. So why would we want a president who has dementia? It's not about attacking him for it. It's about getting him the fuck out of here. Oh, yes, I could. Believe me, I could sell you motherfuckers anything. Anything. Nothing. What do you mean Mark Zuckerberg spent for mail-in ballot? Mail-in ballots were for everybody, right? That I even heard a Republican the other day saying that, who was it? It was one of Trump's advisors that he kept telling him in his first term, stop this shit about mail-in ballots because you get mail-in ballots too. People vote for you through mail-in ballots. Stop it. And then in 2022, Trump voted in the midterms by mail-in ballot. Of course. And then in 2024, they were telling their people to vote by mail-in ballot and simultaneously telling them mail-in ballots are no good. He didn't realize that he was hurting himself at the same time. Now he wound up winning, but again, that's because Kamala had 107 days to run and present her case to the country. He had years. Trump beat Biden until 7 million mail-in ballots appeared. What happened to all those voters? You are a pathetic troll. Your name is Ramirez, and you're a Trump supporter, and I'm pathetic? You know that Donald Trump hates you with a fucking passion, right? Delphin. You know that, right? Delphin, that's your fucking name? Okay. Anyway, 7 million mail-in ballots didn't just appear. There's mail-in ballots. There always was. Do you understand? That's how our fucking military votes when they're overseas and shit. There's always been mail-in ballots. It was not new to the 2020 election. Okay. And I'll tell you what it is, Delphin. They didn't just appear. They were there as of election day. Okay. And they made it clear months before the election that what was going to happen is that they were going to count the votes, the in-person votes. First, obviously, it's computerized, it's digital, right? So the people that voted that day, those votes were going to be counted first, and the mail-in ballots are going to be counted last. That's why when dummies like you say, how come when I went to sleep, Trump was winning? This is honestly the dumbest thing. I don't know if you guys ever really, a lot of people just wave it off. They don't think much about it. But think what these people are saying when they say, when I went to sleep, Trump was winning, and when I woke up, he was losing. This is literally what you call counting. That's how counting works. I always use the example, if you were watching a football game and you get up and go take a piss, make a sandwich, you come back, the score is different, right? Not always, but a lot of the time. That's because of scoring. Okay. So it's called counting. The 7 million, and you just said 7 million mail-in ballots appeared. I don't know where the fuck you got that number from, but this is what happens. That's how they do it. That's how they do it. So it's called counting. Donald Trump and his handlers need to be held responsible for treason at the very least. They have committed multiple crimes against the American people and need to be held accountable. I agree. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's a small crowd tonight, but hey, still. I'm somebody who's a lot smarter than you, Maggie. You could learn from me. Even if Dump didn't go to the island, he befriended a man who, up until his timely death, was a registered sex offender for over a decade. Yeah. And yes. Yeah. And now we know, that Trump never kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. They are, OZ. They are. They are. I mean, look at the stats. Look at it's a stupid country. These red states are the least educated states in the country. They there's a lower rate of college degrees and high school diplomas, and they don't know anything. They listen to right wing media. They swear by it, and anything Jesse Waters or whoever the fuck tells them, Tucker Carlson or any of these people, old Fox News hosts, they they just believe it. They don't look into it. They don't do research. They don't ask questions. They don't think critically. They just say, all right, that's the answer because it sounds good to me. And that's all it's about with you guys is vibes. You're completely allergic to facts. Can Marxists talk without their hands flailing about? I don't know. I don't know any. I've never met one. Brad Lang, I'm tired of megaphiles thinking everyone in the Epstein files is guilty except for the guy that's named the most. How pathetic is it that you guys can't just be honest? It's about right and wrong. Yeah. Did they say they did? Bro, were you born this stupid or did you go to school to get so good at it? That's really a corny joke. I'm 1,000 times smarter than you when it comes to this, Graham. I assure you. I know because you're obviously MAGA. And by definition, that makes you stupid. You voted for the world's most famous con man. You let the world's most famous con man scam you. A guy who's literally known for being a scam artist. You let him scam you. That's how stupid you are. You know what I mean? So don't ask me those questions. Listen, I know what the fuck I'm doing. No, they weren't. Hillary Clinton testified yesterday that she was a date. Ghislaine Maxwell was a +1. Somebody that Hillary knew, I guess, brought her as a date. So they weren't close like that. Epstein was at Trump's wedding. You know that, right? Epstein was. Yeah. So you might not want to choose that hill to die on, One thing I did notice, Bill Clinton said he was aware of Epstein's crimes. However, he did say he had been aware of them. He would have brought, had he been aware of them, he would have brought them to the police's attention. Trump brought it to after Epstein was arrested. What are you fucking up today? Did Trump bring it to their attention as to crimes he was committing? No, I don't know what you're saying here, but no, Trump said that he knew about Epstein's crimes. He said it to a cop in 2006, and he never brought it to their attention. Nope. So he knew about it. According to him, he knew Epstein was a pedophile. He knew about his crimes, and he didn't tell nobody. Yeah, probably, Gary. The guy when challenged said he went to Harvard, then when pressed, he said he didn't. Toxic. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about, Leland? 773. He's named more than anyone. They were best friends during the height of his molesting. That's why you guys looked at on the same level as pedophiles. That's true. Guys, what's the guy talking about? Harvard. Are you talking about me? You talking about? Tell me you're talking about me. Tierson, how can I look what you sent me? Where'd you send it to me? In the chat? What is it? Bro, why are you lying? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't have the ability to send me anything because you don't even know me. So I don't know what you're talking about. Let me see. Come on, if there was anything in the Epstein files about Trump, Biden would for sure release them. Again, it's literally the weakest argument, even in MAGA history. Robert, you're assuming that Biden knew that he had the files. How do you think this works? Do you know that Trump was in office? Do you think Trump had the files? Because Pam Bondi, Kash Patel admitted to this. Pam Bondi went to Donald Trump in May and said, you're all over the Epstein files. And that's when they started redacting his name. So, but you think Biden had them, like just was hanging on to them, just had all the files. And he was just skimming through them and shit. Like, what makes you think Biden had the files? The Department of Justice had the files. And you do. Well, I know you don't, but I'll school you. Jesus fucking Christ. It's the same thing every show. I don't know if I want to do it anymore. Guys, don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. I think I have to do it. Fuck it. I'm going to try to skip it. I heard people in the Epstein files eating babies. That should be a red line for any human. Yeah, I'll say. Who, Trump? Oh, yeah, I know. New Yorkers fucking hated him. Always. Always. New Yorkers always hated Donald Trump. Try to tell me different. You'd have to be just playing stupid to believe Bill and Hillary's testimonies completely. They obviously lied their asses off. Says who? Sandshark? You say so? And who are you again? No, I didn't say he told a cop. He told a cop he knew about his crimes. He called the police after the investigation became public. He did it just to cover his own ass. It's in the files. He called the sheriff, the Palm Beach sheriff or whatever, and it was a friend of his, by the way. He knew the guy. And he simply said, thank goodness you stopped him. We've known about his crimes for years in New York, which is a very dumb thing to say considering he never told anybody. So he knew, he just never told anybody. And that's it. He didn't tell on Epstein. He never worked as an informant. All he said on that call was, well, first, he was covering his own ass. Like I said, he said, I was in a room with Epstein and some teenage girls, but I got out of there right away. And then the only other thing he said is Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell is pure evil. Focus on her, which is, I think, just trying to throw him off the trail of Epstein onto Maxwell. MAGA Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for trafficking underage women. The president of the United States' wife affectionately referred to her as a sweet pea. Make that make sense. Not just that, but Donald Trump wished her well after she was convicted of pedophilia. He wished her well. Yeah, I know. If Trump would have done something wrong, the bonds were the did something back when Joe was in office. Get over it, people. Yeah, he did do stuff wrong, Roy. I mean, you guys will say that to the end of the time. Meanwhile, there's no question about it now. Do you realize that it has been found out as a matter of fact that there was a credible accusation made about Trump raping a 13-year-old girl. Okay. The woman later sued Jeffrey Epstein in 2020 and won millions of dollars, which means she had evidence. Okay. And they just found out, and again, fact, that the FBI interviewed her 4 times about Donald Trump and they deleted them. We just found out the DOJ deleted those interviews. They're gone. I wonder why. Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing about stupid people. They never know they're stupid. You know what I mean? Your number? Let me see. Okay, hold on. How do I check that? Email. I don't have anything. It says, yup, never on the island. What did you send? I don't get it. Oh, what is this? I don't even know that this picture is real. Is she naked in it? Or is it just Bill Clinton in the pool with Ghislaine and somebody else whose face is blocked out? What does that mean? You realize that if he was on the island, we would know about it, right? The Republicans would have talked about it today. There is zero proof Bill Clinton was ever on the island. I don't give a fuck about Bill Clinton. I'll tell you if there was, but there isn't. She showed me a picture of Bill Clinton in a pool, and in no way, shape, or form does this tell us that it was on the island. It's just him in a pool with Epstein or with Ghislaine Maxwell and somebody else whose face is blocked out. So what does that mean to you? I don't get it. What does that tell you? Hillary said she didn't know Epstein was a liar. Hillary all the way. There are pictures of her with Epstein. Just come on, another lie. Hillary saying she didn't know Epstein was liar. Okay. Robert, there are no pictures of Hillary Clinton with Epstein. There aren't. I'm sure you've seen some, but they're not real because, again, she would be arrested as we speak. She would be on her way to jail for committing perjury today, for saying under oath that she never met him. And the Republicans, James Comer and these dipshits, would be out here talking about all day. Yeah, she lied. She said she never knew him. Here's pictures of them together. There's no pictures of them together. Let me get down here. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like and subscribe. And don't be afraid to throw a super chat into the mix. Cope harder, dude. Cope. What does that mean? Is that some Gen Z gay shit? Like, what is cope? Like, it sounds like a new age, like Gen Z corny white boy thing to say. Like, dude, cope, man. You're fucking coping, dude. Fuck are you talking about, New Jersey, Michael? Cope. Fuck. Oh, look, a nice comment from Brian Ball. Hey, listen, guys, do more of it. I love to show people what you really are. You know, I love to show people. I bring that out of you, you know? No, he didn't, Rue Booble. He did not. Where is it confirmed to the FBI? Hey, Gemini 44, how are you? Good to see you. Very good to see you. There's no evidence whatsoever that Trump ever worked with the FBI against Epstein. Zero. Hillary has already lied under oath, brother. Oh, yeah, when? How come she didn't get prosecuted for perjury? I don't know what that means, but I'm sure she wasn't. Sounds like more bullshit from MAGA. You voted for Trump? No. I would never vote for a pedophile. Never. Bill and Hillary have already lied under oath. Wake up. Okay, so tell me when. What did they lie about? Jesus Christ, bro. What the fuck? Trump and Epstein took advantage of little girls as pedos just the same way they took advantage of low IQ Republicans the same way. Yeah, what's up, T's nuts? Yeah. Let's be real. Clinton was impeached over consensual act, and here we have a man convicted in court of SA in office. Now accusations of this 13-year-old. Yeah, I know. We don't need the files. We believe the women. I'm with you. Me too. The FBI literally said he made the call to them. You're just wrong. No, he didn't. I'll tell you what. Go get the source. It's very simple, Rue. Go get the source. Tell me where I find this credible source that says that Donald Trump spoke to the FBI about Epstein, that he informed on Epstein some way to the FBI, and I'll pull it up right now. That's simple as that. There you go. Rue, I study this shit. I research constantly. I listen to this shit 24 hours a day. It never happened. You heard Mike Johnson say it, and Mike Johnson had to take it back the next day. Okay, that's where that came from. A few months ago, Mike Johnson, he couldn't keep giving excuses for why they're covering up the Epstein files for Trump. So he was like, well, you know, Trump didn't do anything wrong. He was actually an informant against Epstein. He worked with the FBI, and then the next day he had to come out and he was like, I shouldn't have said that. I made a mistake. I heard a rumor. And yeah, Trump made him correct it because Trump never worked with the FBI. Well, no, believe me. So Sandshark, what you're saying is Donald Trump, the guy that would give anything to arrest his enemies, especially the Clintons. The guy who literally put on Truth Social, Pam Bondi, my enemies aren't being prosecuted. What's going on? It's making us look weak. Letitia James, James Comey, John Bolton. And then days later, John Bolton got raided and James Comey and Letitia James got indicted. The guy that will do anything to make his enemies pay, the most petty man in the world who never forgets a slight. That guy isn't, because you got to remember that, Sandshark, you're acting as if it's all Democrats in charge of prosecuting Democrats. Trump is not prosecuting them, but they've committed perjury. Yeah. Okay. No, your name is stupid. I'm not even going to say your name, but bro, there's no, again, there's years and years and years and years and years of evidence that Trump's a pedo. It's not like some guy is being accused of this. That would be different. It'd be like, well, let us see evidence. We don't know anything about this guy. Donald Trump, we know of him to be very, very pedo-like. We know of him to be a sexual deviant. We know of him to be a sexual degenerate. We know that. I mean, it's on video. It's everybody knows it about him. The people have known it since the goddamn 80s. So Monica and the data she stole in her prior position. Do you read history? I have no idea what you're talking about or what that has to do with anything. Google what? All right. How about instead of Google? Because when I use Google, you'll just say, oh, that's Google. So I'll use Grok. That's Elon Musk's Grok. Hey, Grok.
Hey, Chris. What do you want?
Is there any proof that Bill Clinton ever went to Epstein's Island?
Hang on. Digging into this mess right now. No, there's no solid proof Bill Clinton ever set foot on Epstein's Little St. James Island. Flight logs, public since around 2019, show him on Epstein's jet maybe 26 times between 2002 and 2003, mostly for Africa trips tied to his foundation. But none of those routes hit the Virgin Islands. Secret Service records back that up. Zero evidence he went there. Claims? Yeah. Virginia Giuffre said she saw him dining there once, but she walked it back. No helicopter arrival, no real detail. Doug Band, Clinton's old aide, told Vanity Fair in 2020 he remembered a January 2003 visit, but that's hearsay from a guy who later beefed with the Clintons. Epstein himself emailed in 2011 it was utter fantasy, and Ghislaine Maxwell swore under oath he never went, called Giuffre's story a lie. Even with all the new DOJ dumps this year, 3 million pages, nothing pins him there. Photos? Sure. Hot tubs, laps, whatever. But not on the island. Clinton denies it flat out. And fact checks keep saying, no logs, no witnesses that stick, no smoking gun. So, conspiracy fuel? Plenty. Actual evidence? Zip. What do you think? Does the absence prove anything, or just mean they covered it better?
No, I agree with you, Grant. Thank you. Guys, I don't just say shit. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? I know what I'm talking about. And now let's get back to this guy. Evidence has to be verified or anyone could be imprisoned. So you believe in innocent until proven guilty or not. I am a podcaster. I'm a guy on YouTube. I am not a court of law. I have the right to form an opinion about anyone I want. Just like you guys, you saw something in Ashley Biden's diary, and even though later on in a letter to a judge, she said that her father never did a thing to her, you will say like it's a fact that Joe Biden's a pedo. Okay. So when it's your guy, that's when it becomes a problem. You'll say anything. There's a guy in here saying Bill Clinton went to the island with zero evidence of it. Or why don't you ask him, why is he not looking for evidence? Why is he saying that without evidence? Why don't you ask him? It's your guy. That's why you're worried about it. I have seen enough to know that Trump is a pedo, period. The end. That's all there is to it. Now, I'm not a court of law. Okay. So I am allowed to say that. I'm allowed to have an opinion. That's it. Not one file accuses him. Meanwhile, Hillary literally sacrificed a chicken in the files. No, she didn't, Rob. Where do you get your information? Or Rue, whatever your name is. Who the fuck? You really believe that? Hillary sacrificed a chicken. My God. Donald Trump is accused multiple times. You know what? Fuck it. Let me just read it. Fuck it. What's the point? I'll just read you the files from the Department of Justice website. Not like it'll change anything, but I'll do it anyway. Complainant following up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip report. Wait a minute. How should I read this? Let me start like this. Wait. All right, this is one of the complaint summaries. Complainant reported his ex-girlfriend's daughters were victims of Epstein's, and one was murdered while working as a limousine driver. Complainant recalled picking up Donald Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. During that ride, complainant recalled some of the things Trump spoke about on his call were very concerning, and described described being a few seconds away from pulling the limousine over on the median, and within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying. Complainant noted Trump repeatedly stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone. One of complainant's ex-girlfriend's daughters told complainant Trump raped her, as did Epstein. Caller is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein. That's one. Complainant following up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform sex acts with him, and alleged Trump was president when her uncle murdered her newborn child. Caller was taken by boat to Epstein's Island. Caller said it was complicated and involved Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Caller became a school counselor and had a meeting with the school principal, Linda Kitts, and a police officer, where the caller was informed that there was pictures of herself with Epstein. Caller reported the school was mad at her for not being a Trump person, and that the school wanted her to testify to say things against Andrew Cuomo. The FBI and Donald Trump were on the phone during the meeting. Caller believes the FBI has baby pictures of her with Epstein. Caller reported that in 1987, a friend, Victim 1, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim 1 saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave Victim 1 a drink, and Victim 1 woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. Victim 1 didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembered seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim 1 called the caller and told her she thought she had been raped. Victim 1 did not go to a hospital to have a rape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially because she was drunk. Victim 1's husband's business had problems with suppliers, and Victim 1 believed Trump was behind it. Victim 1 also started dating a lawyer, identifier is unknown, who was married. Victim 1 had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim 1 left a bar with a man and no one in the bar recognized. Who no one in the bar recognized, but who seemed familiar with Victim 1. Victim 1 was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what Victim 1 was wearing when she went missing. In 2004-2005, Sir Ivan Viltzig hosted a party where Jeffrey Epstein, Sammy Sosa, and Donald Trump were in attendance. Patti LaBelle's PR agent stood at the door. At the party, caller met an individual who was approximately 18 to 23 years of age, who was brought from Oklahoma for a modeling job, but then sold to a man in France. Several women were being auctioned, and a woman possibly known as Colette was the madam. A couple of years later, caller saw Colette at the Cheetah Club in New York, and she told one of Santos' friends that Jamie Foxx was interested in spending a night with her and that he could pay her a lot of money. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's vulva and vaginas by entering a finger and rated the children on tightness. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Don Jr. Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral to Donald Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. These are some of them. These are some of them. Now, let me get to this one that's a little more important because we found out that it's very credible. Let me find it. Okay. Redacted reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. Now, this friend, it turns out, a journalist named Roger Sullenberger did some digging, and he found out about a woman who sued Jeffrey Epstein and in 2020 won millions of dollars. And during her conversations with the FBI, she had pictures, but she didn't want to show them because Donald Trump was in them. And she said she doesn't really want to, go after him because she feared for her life, which is, of course, I mean, you MAGA animals would kill for him. So that's what, it's just like Katie Johnson. She accused Trump of raping her in 1996 when she was 13, and you scumbags started fucking with her and vandalizing her house and threatening to kill her and everything else. But she did wind up having 4 interviews with the FBI about Trump doing this, and the DOJ deleted all 4 of them just recently. Isn't that great? There's a file in the Epstein files that it's a manifest or whatever. It shows all the things that are supposed to be in that specific group of documents or something. And there's 4 interviews with the FBI about Trump raping this 13-year-old girl, because Roger Sullenberger found out that this girl, the 13-year-old that supposedly bit Trump, and the woman that later sued Epstein and won millions of dollars, same person. So if she won millions of dollars, that means she has evidence. So she spoke to the FBI, Trump's FBI, and they deleted 4 of these interviews. So, but I guess there's nothing there, right? Yeah. So when you guys say, look, so it says not one file accuses him. Meanwhile, Hillary literally sacrificed the chicken. No, she didn't. And it accuses him multiple times. That's like half of them. I didn't even read them all. And by the way, that was only the first 3 million files where his name was redacted a zillion times. There's another 3 million files. And when the Democrats went to see just this 3 million unredacted and they searched Trump's name, it was in there 1 million times. In that 3 million files, 1 million times. And they redacted most of it out. The DOJ. Why? I wonder why. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not cool to joke about. Yeah. Oh, the real estate deal. Yeah. The thing about him kicking, first of all, there's in the Epstein files that we got now, we found out from Epstein's lawyer, there's a interview with him where he quotes Donald Trump as saying, Epstein was never kicked out of Mar-a-Lago. He was never a member. He was simply a guest, and he was never asked to leave. So we know the story about him kicking Epstein out is complete bullshit. As far as a falling out, I've been telling you people this for like years now. And, most people who have researched this also know. And according to Bill Clinton today, under oath, Bill Clinton said that Trump told him that their falling out was because of a real estate deal, which is what we've been talking about on here for a long time. There was a real estate deal back then where Epstein was buying a house for like $40 million. And he invited Trump over to show him where to put a pool because Trump was a builder, right? He wanted advice on where to put a pool. Well, Trump then went and bought the house out from under him for $45 million. And a year later, he sold it to some Russian oligarch for $95 million. So Epstein was going to sue Trump because of this. That's why they had a falling out. It had nothing to do with Virginia Giuffre or Mar-a-Lago or any of that shit. It was about a real estate deal. It's like everything else with Trump. Money. That's it. They know he's guilty. Oh, yeah, no doubt. Gemini 44, 499, Trump name in the Epstein files more than Jesus. It was mentioned in the Bible. It's true. Thank you so much, Gemini. If my daughter accused, who are you talking to, ZR? Who's that directed at? Just out of curiosity. My daughter accused you of rape, dude. Would you not want the allegations verified and proven before being called a PDF, especially if you were innocent? Well, of course. But if I have a history of doing pedo-like things, then I would not blame you for, deciding that I'm most likely guilty. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. That's how it works. Isn't it funny that every single politician in history, there's been a so-called witch hunt. There's Oppo research. There's people that have tried to destroy them. Every politician, really, Supreme Court justices, everything. Okay. But nobody in history has been accused of pedophilia like Donald Trump has. Nobody, no presidential candidate ever in history. The guy started being accused of it in the fucking 90s. That's pedophilia. As far as grape, his wife, Ivana, said in court filings in 1989 that he brutally raped her. He's got 30 sexual assault allegations against him, credible ones, since the 1970s. He's found civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll. I got videos I could play you of him talking openly about basically wanting to fuck his own daughter, talking about his daughter's titties when she was 4 years old, everything else. When I know that much about you, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what you want. I don't care if you want me to find more evidence. I can make my own fucking opinion about you. And like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. If somebody's accused of the same thing over and 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 over by mad different people over decades, chances are they're exactly that. Okay. If you accused me of selling drugs and then a week later, some other person accused me of that, and then 2 weeks later, another person, and then over the next, say, 2-3 years, 190 people accuse me of it, chances are there's a good reason for it. They're not just guessing, you know? Yeah, well, apparently not, Sonny, because it's true. And plus, you don't know. I mean, we'll explain this until we turn blue. It won't matter. You guys will be saying this to the end of time because you're so simple-minded. The Epstein case was an open case until July of 2025 when Pam Bondi closed it. And anybody who knows anything about how the criminal justice system works, federal, state, or anything else, there's no files released during an open investigation. There is none, period, because it'll destroy everything. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted under Biden and immediately went on appeal, and her last appeal wasn't exhausted till January of 2024. And then it was still open until Pam Bondi closed it in July of 2025. So if you're wondering why all of a sudden it became a big deal to for everybody to see the files, it's because in June, after Pam Bondi came out in February of last year and said the files are on my desk, you all saw it. We all saw her say it. I have the list on my desk. It was then reported that in May, Pam Bondi told Trump, your name is all over the files, and they assigned 1,000 FBI agents to start redacting his name. Then in June, they came out. What did they tell us all? There are no Epstein files. There's nothing. There's no list. There's no nothing. And then in July, she said the case is closed. And that's when it became okay to release the files. That's why it became such a big deal then. Not only because she closed the case, but because once we saw her on TV say, the Epstein list is on my desk, I'm going to review it. It'll be out any day now. And then she came out in June and said, what Epstein list? There's no Epstein list. And Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, who for years were podcasters, talking about how there is a list and there's all kinds of Democrats on it and elites and all these things that are pedos. And when they came out the same time and said, what do you mean? What files? No files. That's when it became such a problem all of a sudden. You see, it's not about Trump. It's about timing and a cover-up. That's what it's about. Well, what Hillary stuff? I mean, you guys literally make things up. What are you talking about? You talking about the guy who said she sacrificed a chicken in the Epstein file? This is not a thing. That's not in the Epstein files. That's not. He literally pulled that out of his ass. So what are we supposed to believe about Hillary? What? We're supposed to be like you lunatics and believe she killed like 90 people? I mean, we have fucking brains, guys. You know? And anything her bill did wrong, you can bet your ass that Donald Trump would have had them prosecuted immediately. Forget about this term, last term. Immediately. So there's nothing. And they both testified under oath. It backfired on the Republicans. Now they're like, oh shit, we learned nothing new. And now we set a new precedent, and they're going to be able to call in Trump. That's why Trump never had anything good to say for years about the Clintons, right? All of a sudden, you notice like a few weeks ago, he was like, I don't really like that they're going to pull him in for a deposition. I like the guy. I feel bad. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's been telling you for months and months and months that Bill Clinton's in the files and he's guilty. When they released 12,500 files a couple of months back, the first thing they dropped was any pictures and stuff of Bill Clinton, because that's who he despises the most. But all of a sudden, a few weeks ago, he's like, I don't like seeing this. You know why he doesn't like seeing it? Because the Republicans set a new precedent. When they decided we're going to pull in an ex-president to testify under oath, then it became okay now for when Democrats win the midterms for them to pull Trump in. And Trump knows that. So he doesn't like the idea that this happened, believe me. Money in what situation? Sure, it motivates, but in what situation? I mean, money can motivate you to sue somebody. It can't make you win the lawsuit. There's got to be evidence for you to win a lawsuit. So, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that that accused him of SA that never tried to sue him. So what are they doing it for? Lee S, $5. Thank you. Keep speaking the truth. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you guys supporting the show. Don't be afraid to send a super chat, guys, like my friend Lee here. And please hit the like and subscribe. Epstein was a Democrat. So, what's your point? The fuck does that have to do with anything? Biden's daughter wrote a page called Showers with Dad in her confirmed diary. She showered with him until 15. That's what I mean, Francisco, and your name is Gonzalez, and you're a Trump supporter. Let me show you something. Did Ashley Biden ever mention what age she was when she said showers with Dad?
Based on published excerpts from the diary reportedly belonging to Ashley Biden, which was stolen and leaked in 2020, she did not explicitly mention her age at the time she described taking showers with her father. The diary entry in question mentions, showering with my dad, probably not appropriate, while reflecting on her childhood and experiences with sexual trauma. Key details regarding the diary entry. 1. Context. The entry appears in a diary stolen in 2020 and later sold to Project Veritas, which law enforcement in recent court proceedings have indicated belonged to Ashley Biden. 2. The content. The author did not state a specific age, but rather listed the shower incident among other reflections on being hypersexualized at a young age. 3. Interpretation. While some interpretations and social media discussions surrounding the leaked, unverified contents have speculated about the age, the text itself does not provide a timeline, according to online discussions and fact-checking reports analyzing the leaked materials. And 4. Authenticity and reaction. While the diary's existence and theft have been confirmed through legal proceedings, including a letter from Ashley Biden acknowledging the theft of her diary as part of her rehabilitation, the specific, salacious details of its contents have not been officially confirmed by her or her representatives. In a 2024 letter to the judge presiding over the case of the woman who stole her journal, Ashley Biden described the incident as a violation of her privacy and stated that her personal journal was stolen as she was working through trauma.
She also said that her words were grossly misinterpreted and taken out of context. So now you see how, first of all, you lied, Francisco Gonzalez. Either that or you're so stupid you actually believed that a man's daughter could say that he was showering with her until she was 15 and nothing would be done about it. You fucking idiot. Okay. 15? Are you kidding me? The fact that you even believe that explains to me exactly why your last name could be Gonzalez and you still vote for Trump. That's how stupid you are. Fucking idiot. Now, meanwhile, if Ivanka came out in a diary, if they found her diary and it said, my dad showered with me, you guys would say, she's a fucking liar, that bitch. She's lying. But Ashley Biden, even though later she said no, in a letter to the judge, she said, my dad never did anything like that to me. My words were grossly misinterpreted, taken out of context, and she said used to lob false accusations at innocent people. She said her dad never did anything to hurt her. She loves him to death. She introduced him at the DNC last summer. You know what I mean? But you guys, if it fits your narrative, you believe it. If it doesn't, you don't, period. Let me see. She don't know how to write English. They could never find her diary, and if they did, they couldn't read it. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I know. Unbelievable. Every time I see a guy with a fucking last name like that, it's like, oh my God, you support Trump. It's like Popeyes voting, or a chicken voting for Popeyes. You know what I mean? It's like, let me put the guy in office whose main goal is to destroy me. Fucking idiot. But it is her diary. She wrote in it, what was the context of her shower? You have to ask her. She's the one that said it was taken out of context and grossly misinterpreted. Plus, this was a thing. I know you guys don't know this, but this is a thing she was working on with a psychiatrist. It was just a diary where she was noting things from her childhood that may have led her to have issues later on in life. And when she was talking about being hypersexualized, she was talking about a female relative's house that she used to have to spend time at, and how that person made her feel hypersexualized. All she said about her dad was showers with dad that were probably not appropriate. She never said an age. So now, don't get me wrong. I don't care how old my daughter was. At 3 months old, I wouldn't have done it. But it doesn't make him a pedo, and we don't know how old she was. We don't know if she was in fucking, if she was a fucking 6 months old. We don't know, because she never said an age. And apparently she didn't think anything was too bad, because she stands up for her father to this day. She loves and adores him. Did you see the stuff she said about him at the DNC last year? She loves him. So that's all it is. I know you guys like to think it's something more than that. It's not. It's not. No, it's not. It's not, Snake Eater, because Joe Biden, you simply say he's a pedophile, where with Trump, we actually have proof he's a pedophile. Yeah, I know. I read that one, man. Sick. This fucking guy came in here a little while ago and said there's not one accusation against Trump in the files. Oh my God, unbelievable. All right, guys, I'm going to cut this one short. I'm going to do something else with my time. But thank you. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking to? Melania. Who even mentioned Melania? The fuck is he talking to? You guys puzzle me with shit like that. Because I know you guys see and hear things. I don't know if you were, like hallucinating or what. What are you talking about, Melania? MAGA psychology is, if any Democrat is a PDF, then it's okay for Trump to be a PDF. Yeah, exactly. I know. Yes, he was. Stewie girl, he was. What do you mean? He was found civilly liable for the sexual abuse, and that's what they call it in the civil case in New York. The judge made it perfectly clear. It's rape. He forcefully penetrated her. Okay. But in a criminal court, it's the equivalent of being found guilty of rape. That's what he said. Okay, the judge. So he was found civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll. You can look it up right now. Oh my God, because they, I don't know, man. It's their identity. It's all they got. Trump gave them a reason to believe they're not complete and total fuck ups, that it's somebody else's fault, and that's all it took. I know, Miss Adventura. I know. No problem, Lucky Charm. Let me just see. There's nothing in the files to point at Trump. Why didn't Biden Obama release the files regarding Trump? Why didn't Trump release the files regarding the Democrats? He said were all over them. Why not? Yeah, they did. Antifa FM. Yep. Appreciate it. The judge said it was rape. Yes. All right, guys, have a good night. It doesn't matter. Tammy Pierce, she went in front of a jury, okay, and a judge. The jury was picked by Donald Trump's lawyers and the other side, not just the other side. That's a fact. That's how juries are picked. They picked 12 people, and those 12 people saw all the evidence. They listened to the witness testimony, and they said he's civilly liable. So you sitting in whatever trailer you're in, just assuming he's not a rapist because you don't want him to be, doesn't mean anything. Whether or not she remembered the exact date also doesn't mean anything. I think if you look into a lot of SA cases, you're going to find that happens quite often because it's a traumatic event. People don't generally store that type of information about it. But this is also decades later. So regardless of what you think, a jury, and that's how it works in this world, a jury gets to decide, and the jury decided that he is, guilty. There's heaps of allegations against Trump, and it is not verifiably proven. You need to do that to prove that. You need to prove that before guilt can be established. No, I don't. I get to say he's guilty. I'm not a court of law. I can't do anything to him. In my opinion, he's guilty, and I have every right to say that. You know what I mean? And I've seen shit. We've all seen shit. You guys just ignore it. The guy's a fucking pervert. And I'll leave you with this. Good night.
Charges that Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2002 said of Epstein, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey. He admired Epstein's lifestyle.
Your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of it.
Yeah. She's actually always been very voluptuous.
What does Tiffany have of Marlon?
She's got Marlon's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got fist blood yet.
You were playing tennis and you came off the court. Quote, look at that piece of I would love some of that. It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha.
I had the impression that he was interested in younger women and that, women would age out for him.
Miss Teen Universe? Yeah, that's like giving Jeffrey Dahmer a cooking show.
I'll go backstage before a show, and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I stayed there with no sweat.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Prince Andrew answering questions for the first time about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story.
Trump has been photographed with Prince Andrew as far back as the year 2000.
Ghislaine Maxwell is accused of helping Epstein sexually abuse underage girls.
I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
you are one.
All right, I was going to say that. But